Think about this for a second. The same generation that roamed neighborhoods until the streetlights flickered on, let themselves into empty houses after school and sorted out their own problems, is now the one getting criticized for being too involved in their kids' lives. People call them overprotective or intense when they step in on serious issues. But if you dig into it, this isn't hypocrisy. It's a deliberate correction. Generation X grew up in a world that demanded early self-reliance, and many of them are determined not to repeat that exact pattern with their own children. Let's go back to the 1970s and 1980s. This was the era when dual-income households became the norm on a massive scale. For the first time in large numbers, both parents, especially mothers, were heading to work full-time. According to data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the labor force participation rate for married mothers with children under 6 rose dramatically, from about 30% in 1970 to nearly 59% by 1990. For mothers with kids ages 6 to 17, it climbed even higher, often exceeding 70% by the late 80s. What did that mean for the kids? Millions became what we now call latchkey children. You'd get home from school, unlock the door with the key around your neck or hidden under the mat, flip on the TV or radio for company, heat up a snack, and handle homework or boredom on your own. No one was there to ask how your day went, mediate playground fights, or celebrate small wins. If you had a bad grade or a falling out with a friend, the advice was usually figure it out or toughen up. A 2004 marketing study by Reach Advisors described Generation X as having gone through their formative years as one of the least parented, least nurtured generations in U.S. history. That wasn't exaggeration. Divorce rates were spiking, single-parent homes were more common, and societal focus shifted toward adult fulfillment over constant child supervision. Kids learned independence out of necessity, cooking simple meals, entertaining themselves, solving conflicts without adult intervention. It built resourcefulness and a certain toughness, but it also left many feeling unseen or emotionally isolated at times. That daily autonomy shaped a worldview. The world isn't always going to step in and fix things for you. You have to rely on yourself. External validation? Unreliable. Trust your own judgment. But beneath that strength, there was often a quiet longing for more consistent presence and emotional support. Fast forward to the present. Many Gen Xers are now in their 40s and 50s, raising children who are preteens, teens, or young adults. And here's where the paradox kicks in. Instead of replicating the hands-off approach they experienced, a lot of them are choosing the opposite, being deliberately more engaged, emotionally available, and protective. You'll hear Gen X parents say things like, "I came home to an empty house every day. I don't want my kids to feel that same emptiness." Or, "I handled everything alone as a kid, and while it made me strong, I wish someone had just listened or shown up sometimes." This isn't about turning into helicopter parents who micromanage every moment. It's more nuanced. Observers have coined a term for it, stealth fighter parents. Coined by generational analyst Neil Howe, it describes parents who don't hover constantly. They give their kids space to navigate everyday challenges, make mistakes, and build independence, just like they did growing up. But when something crosses a serious threshold, bullying that turns harmful, unfair school treatment, mental health struggles, or real danger, they intervene decisively, quickly, and with full force. No endless debates, they research, strategize, and act. It's calculated involvement. Save energy for what truly matters, then strike hard to protect. This style often surprises people. Other parents might see a Gen X mom or dad chilling at the sidelines during a game, phone away, seeming detached. But if an issue arises, that same parent suddenly appears informed, prepared, and unyielding in advocating for their child. This approach aligns closely with what's considered one of the most effective parenting frameworks in developmental psychology, Diana Baumrind's authoritative style. Baumrind identified key dimensions: responsiveness, warmth, emotional availability, support, and demandingness,
clear expectations, rules, boundaries, accountability. Authoritarian, high demandingness, low responsiveness, strict rules, little warmth. Permissive, high responsiveness, low demandingness, all love, few limits. Uninvolved, low on both. Authoritative, high on both. Warm and supportive while maintaining firm, reasonable standards. Decades of research show kids raised authoritatively tend to have better outcomes, stronger self-esteem, better emotional regulation, higher academic performance, healthier social skills, and lower rates of anxiety or depression. They learn to handle consequences, but feel secure knowing their parents care deeply and are there when needed. Gen X parents often describe their goals in exactly these terms. Be present and connected, but don't smother. Set boundaries, but explain why. Let them struggle and learn, but step in before things spiral. It's not perfect, every family is different, but it reflects a conscious effort to blend the resilience they gained from independence with the nurturing they missed. Of course, they're doing this in a radically changed landscape. Social media amplifies everything. Every milestone gets posted, every mistake can go viral, comparisons are constant. For a generation that grew up with real privacy, where embarrassing moments stayed local and faded, this feels invasive and exhausting. They're also the sandwich generation, caring for aging boomer parents who sometimes view their involvement as coddling, while their Gen Z or Alpha kids push back if rules feel too strict. Add career pressures, financial instability. Gen X entered adulthood during recessions, saw pensions vanish, adapted to gig economies, and the constant juggle of work-life balance. It's tiring. Yet they persist because the internal compass is strong. Latchkey life taught them not to chase external approval. They parent from memory, what felt lacking, what built strength, and aim to give their kids both security and self-sufficiency.
In the end, Gen X parenting isn't about fitting a trendy label or following expert checklists perfectly. It's pragmatic, reflective, and deeply personal. They remember the quiet of an empty house, the freedom of unsupervised afternoons, the pride in handling things alone, and the occasional ache of wondering if anyone noticed. So they show up, not always loudly, not every minute, but meaningfully. They let kids fall and get back up, but they're ready with a hand when the fall is hard. They set screen limits from lived experience, not fear. They encourage boredom as a spark for creativity because they know what it's like to invent your own fun. Breaking cycles isn't easy. It means holding on to the good parts, resilience, independence, while adding what was missing: presence, empathy, emotional safety. Gen X may never get full credit for this quiet revolution in parenting, but the results will show in their kids. Secure enough to take risks, strong enough to recover, loved enough to thrive. That's the real legacy, not erasing their past, but building something better from it. If this hits home or makes you think about your own upbringing or parenting, drop a comment below. What's one thing from your childhood you'd change for your kids? And if you'd like more reflections like this, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for listening.